Hi Stampers, we're going to be making this nice Happy Mother's Day card. This could be for your mother or for a daughter-in-law or a daughter who's a great mother. And we're going to be using the Timeless Tulip set, and it bundles with this punch that's a matching punch that punches out the tulip and the leaf. And if you buy these two together, you can save 10%. Now we're also going to be using for our die cuts, I'm going to be using our Stitched So Sweetly, and that's this one with the great rectangles that have the scalloped edges and stitching on the inside. And we're going to be using these two today, the smallest one for the saying and then the bigger one for the background. So let's get started. So we're going to use some Granny Apple Green as our card base and some Whisper White and a little piece of our light Highland Heather, I believe it is, vellum that you can earn free in Sale-a-Bration just through the end of March. So there's not much time left to earn that for free. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and attach my vellum to this white piece. So I'm going to take a little bit of my liquid glue and just put a little bit there and maybe some along the end. This will dry clear so you won't really see it. And I'm just going to put it along the bottom edge of my white piece, and you can get all of the sizes and dimensions on my blog at StampFUNatics.com, and you can get all the supplies and order them on my store there too. So this is eventually going to go on here, but not yet. So now what I want to do is I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to be using the stem that comes in that set and in my Granny Apple Green ink. And I'm just going to partially stamp, just maybe half of that, and make it come out sort of over here. And then I'm going to be doing another little small one over here. And, oops. So to make it real, I'm going to flip this over. I just took this piece off. I'm flipping over my white piece because that's going to get adhered to the card base, so it really won't show. And let's go ahead and put that back down onto my card base. And I'm going to clean that stamp real well. And like I said again, I'm just going to ink up just a portion and have my stem come out this way. And I'm going to clean it in between each one. Let's do that again. And I'm just going to ink up just a portion of it to go that way. Clean your stamp again, and then a little bit longer one for the center, which will be up in here. Okay, let me get that a little bit better. Still not getting it. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to take the leaf, and I'm just going to have one come out this way, and maybe one there, and one there. And let's just clean our stamp off again and do the tip coming off there. And let's say just a little bit over here. There we go. Okay, now this part in here isn't going to show, so don't get nervous. I'm going to take my tulip stamps. Now for this one, I'm going to be using this stamp, this one, and that one. So let me go ahead and get my other tulips out. We'll get the larger, sort of medium-sized one, I should say, of the bunch. And I'm going to go ahead and ink that up in my light Highland Heather. Let's clean that off. And then I'm going to take the bud. Let's see, this one will go here. Look at the bud. And I'm going to ink that up and put that over here. And And that's it for the stamping on there. I'm going to take my Highland Heather with the larger tulip, and I'm just going to ink that on a piece of paper. There's a little bit of ink on my hands there. And then we're going to take our tulip punch and close this up so it doesn't dry. I'm going to slide it in, line it up, and then we'll punch it out. And it has all the variations in the color in the stamp. I didn't have to color or do anything to make it look this fantastic. So there you go. And I'm going to take one of our dimensionals. Actually, I'll take two. It's a pretty big stamp. Put that on the bottom. And put that right in the middle of our card. Okay. Now, I've gone ahead and cut out those two dies, this one in the Whisper White and this one in the Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to take my Happy Mother's Day stamp. I'm going to stamp it in the Highland Heather. And you can stamp this first and then run it through your die machine, or you can do like I'm doing, and since it's a poly stamp, I can match it up pretty well. And I'll just stamp it right in the middle, like that. Okay, so I'm going to take some snail and just put some, and put this flat on my card, on the back. Like that, I believe. It's pretty good. Let's move it over just a smidge. Let's go this way so I can see end to end. And then I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm going to put it over either side. But first I want to put on some ribbon. So what I'm using is the Gorgeous Grape. It just blends beautifully. I'm just going to measure a little piece across the edge here. And then I'm going to cut. And I'm going to take a little snail on the back. And I'm just laying that across the line where they meet and pushing that down into the snail that I had on the back, like that. Okay, now I can go ahead. I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I'm going to go ahead and just finish gluing. That's why I said it didn't matter on the back here that it was a little messed up, because that's why we have two pieces of paper, and I just wanted to show you even I mess up. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and add that onto our card base. Let's just hold that down a minute. And then I'm going to take, while that's drying, a dimensional on the top and bottom of our saying. So that way it'll straddle over the ribbon. And then I'm going to lay that right over the top, like that. So see how that hides any of those imperfections, so you don't need to worry about them. Okay, then I also took some of my Noble Peacock rhinestones. I'm using the purple ones. And I added one to the top. I added one, let's see, over on the left corner, just about there. And then I added one more on the right, just down a little bit. So it's in sets of 3, which always seems pretty pleasing to the eye. Okay, then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to make a very small bow. So I'm just going to tie it up. And then I'll just keep pulling it tighter and get that bow down to the size that I think looks good for the card. It's still a little big, so let's go a little bit smaller. Tighten it up in between, make your knot nice and tight. And then I like to just cut it at an angle. And then I'm going to use a glue dot. I'm pressing it into the glue dot and then pressing it onto my card. And that's it, we're done. Isn't that cute? That's our Mother's Day card.